Hello tubers, today we're going to fix a poor hot water flow problem on a water heater. It ended up being a bad dielectric union, so we're going to take a look at it here. First you're going to see the centum. You open the water, get a quick burst of high pressure, and then it just to a trickle. Classic sign you got a restriction in the flow, and you can hear it at the water heater. You can hear the hiss of water trying to get past the pinhole that's in it. So first we're going to turn off the water to the whole house. We're going to grab the hose. It's a friend of mine's house, so we're going to grab his hose because I don't have to bring mine if it's a friend of mine's. I take the hose downstairs, put it in a drain, hook it to the drain on the water heater. So we're going to throw it in this floor drain. Take the other end of the hose and hook it to the drain on the water heater. Oh yes, we're going to turn the water heater to pilot. That way it doesn't try to heat the empty tank. I usually put them on pilot when I'm doing work on them, unless I have to really get riffing, then I'll turn them off. So we get it on there. This is a newer style tank, so you're going to need a screwdriver to open the valve. Change it over here for a slotted. And open it. Now opening it doesn't get you far, you need to let air back in. So we're going to open up the bleeder, which doesn't help much because that side's the plugged one. Also, that shutoff doesn't turn, so we're going to replace it too. Trying out some new Flux from Luxco. It's kind of nice. It's a nice soft Flux. So I'm going to try to unsweat this valve. It's unsuccessful, but I showed it anyway. I usually put Flux over the old solder to help clean it as I pull it apart. I also find it helps make the solder flow a little better. Got my torch. I like this torch from Goss. I got the acetylene version. I got this propane one. Pretty nice. So I'm trying to heat it up, but unfortunately there's still water dripping and I didn't know it at the time, so that pipe still had some water in it and it was keeping my solder from flowing out. So I just ended up cleaning it and cutting the section out. I really like the mesh. It lets me go much faster, and if you get it wet it doesn't turn all nasty. So we get a little bit of cleaning action here, getting that copper nice and bright so it will solder up real easy. Had to stop by the truck, grab the coupling and the cutter, and I got my piece of copper right there. I'm going to clean my coupling out here real fast. It's a repair coupling, no stopping it. I'm just going to throw that there. We're going to cut this out real quick. I should have used my imp. I used my full-size cutter. You'll see at the bottom I hit the flue, so I have to go back and forth. This cutter needs a new blade. I'm just lazy to replace it, and it's right there in the handle. That's the terrible part. So we cut it a bunch of times. It's almost all the way through. A little bore pops right off. Flux to clean pipe. I'm replacing it with the same kind of valve with a bleeder. It's a multi-turn. It's not a ball valve. It could have been. It should have been. But it's what I had. It's what we're using. This is a buddy of mine's house. He's selling it. We were just fixing the water problem, so they won't complain that they have poor water flow. So I'm slipping the repair coupling at the top, and I put a little too much flux, so I just wiped that off. Measured up my piece of pipe, cutting it. Here we go, money shot. There's my cut. Now I hold the clean part with the rag, only so you don't cut your hand, and I just take a punch of the mesh and scrub it. We flux it, both sides, and then we'll wiggle that into place. I had to use some pliers because I think that coupling was a little egged. Light up the torch, and we flow some solder. This torch flows solder fast. It's pretty nice. And it works with the disposable bottles, or you can get a regulator for a big tank, which works good for me for when I do plumbing stuff because I don't usually use a whole lot. And the acetylene works, but it's really fast. And on little stuff, you can overheat it easy. I get a little messy down here because the Flux cleaned the pipe so well, the solder just flowed right on down. Some good Flux, it cleans well. I don't know if you can see where it made clean parts on the pipe. Give all those joints a wipe when we're done. Now we're going to take the dielectric union apart. Problem is that union inside the tank corroded. Something got in there and corroded up and it blocked the water line, so we're going to take that out. Just unspin that real quick. Take it off. Now I'm going to take the other half of that dielectric union off. There's two dielectric unions on this, like most of them are. So we're going to spin that one out. I think that one was on there pretty tight. I had to get a pipe wrench on it. Yeah, I had to get a pipe wrench on it. The one below it was really tight. Spin that one off. You can see it's just a little bit of black corrosion. If you see me stick my finger in here, you can see all the schmoo, the black, just nasties that had built up in the top of that union. So now I'm trying, and I'm putting all my butt into it. I ended up just bashing on the end of the pipe wrench with a hammer to get some shock force in it. I wouldn't recommend anyone do it, but you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. It's not a perfect world out there, so ball peen hammer. That's a big ball peen hammer, and we just mash on it a few times, and it moves. And if you see, I just get on there and it spins out. I egged that union trying to crank onto the little one I'm pulling out now, the dielectric. It's actually a dielectric coupling piece of pipe. It's not actually a union. You see it's all melted on the one side. I heated it up to break the bond of the pipe thread compound. Here I'm putting the blue stuff on mine. I like the blue stuff. It's anti-vibration. And I'm just, you know, this is a bigger the gob, better the job kind of thing. And I'm spinning it till I find the start, so I don't cross-thread it. Because I am prepared to put a whole lot of butt behind that pipe when I screw it back in so it's nice and tight. And then I'm going to put the upper half of that old union on there. And I'm going to use that to spin the pipe down. I'm going to tighten that upper until it stops and it'll spin the bottom in. So I get on it with my little channel locks first there and get that speed wrench action till I can't turn it no more. Then I switch to my stumpy little pipe wrench and I just crank on that. You know, I'm putting a lot of force into this. I'm getting that really tight. Because I don't want no weeping around that to eventually corrode the tank out. It's only a 2006 tank. It's still in pretty new condition. And also, I changed it out for a dielectric union that's all open inside. No restrictions. Put a little bit of thread compound on the union just to help things slide together. Also, the previous person did it, so I needed to keep their compound soft so I could spin it back together. And I'm getting out my pipe wrench and I'm riffing on it pretty tight so that doesn't leak. Putting the cap back on, closing up the water valve. And we're going to tighten up that bleeder. The valve is open right now. I'm going to go turn the water back on. I turn it on slowly, and then once I build some pressure, I just open it up all the way. Okay, I'm checking for gas leaks because I was pretty well riffing on this water heater. I moved it a couple times a little bit, so I don't want to have a situation where the water heater cracked the fitting and I didn't know about it. So for the minute, just check all the fittings, make sure I don't got no bubbles, because as the saying goes, no bubbles, no troubles. Everything looked good, so I relit the pilot, put it in pilot, push down the button. I look inside, hit the button, and there's the end result. We got a good flow of hot water. So that was a pretty straightforward repair. I saved my buddy like $600 on a water heater. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you like what I do. You know, tell a friend, comment. And if you want to hit the bell icon, you'll get new notifications when I post new stuff, which happens every once in a while. And again, thank you guys for watching. Have yourself a wonderful afternoon.